Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Carolina Hurricanes franchise mode. So in last episode, we had round 1 up against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and we managed to beat them in only 5 games to advance to the second round for the second time in 3 years. As you can see, game 1 was a nice blowout win, 6-3. We had 2 close games, both 3-2 overtime wins where we prevailed in double overtime. And then we also had another 3-2 win here. So it was actually a pretty close series for the most part, except for the fact that we just came away with both overtime wins out of it. So we are on to the second round up against a familiar team in Tampa Bay. Unfortunately for Tampa Bay, though, they are kind of declining a bit in terms of age and player overall wise, at least in fact of their defensive core. Because Victor Hedman, who I think last year or last time we played them was like a 90 something, he has dropped off considerably, and he is now only an 85 at age 34. Sergachev, though, and Foote are still really good, so that's a really nice top 2. But the defensive core is a lot weaker than it has been in previous years. Their forward core still looks just as strong as it always has, as a lot of these guys have been here since the beginning of the GM modes, so it's still a really nice team. And then goaltending is really strong, obviously still with Vasilevsky, so we can't count them out just yet. But if we could shut down that top line, I think we should be able to get onto the conference finals. So let's get into game number 1. Once again, we do not have home ice so far, just because a lot of these teams that we're playing were good like regular season simulators. So game number 1 at the Molly Arena. Come on, guys, let's get this done again. Let's get to the conference finals. That would be awesome. First period, and it is 1-0 us. Noah Hannafin opens the scoring. He actually went through a lot of adversity. What's the word I'm looking for? Adversary. I don't even know that word that I'm looking for, anyways. But he fought through a lot though to like get on the with this team, because he battled to 3 injuries, I think, during the regular season. We had a total of 13 during the season. I actually counted, but still 13 injuries in like those 5 or whatever months is pretty ridiculous. Anyways, second period, and oh man, that is not what we wanted to do. Their first line picks up 2 goals, and their second line picks up a third goal. And we are down 3-1 now going into the third. Shots are 22-18 in favor of Tampa Bay. Let's see if we could have a bounce back period to that. That was like Ulanov's worst period I've seen. He usually never lets in that many goals in a period. Last 10 minutes of the third period. Come on, guys. I know it's only game 1, but we need to start putting on more pressure on these Tampa Bay Lightning. They're running away in the shot total, and they are going to take a 1-0 series lead as they win by a score of 4-1. So hopefully we could have a better second period going into game 2, because we had like a nice lead, but 1-0, and then that second period there was 2 quick ones that were like less than a minute apart, and then we were down, and then Stamkos made it a 3-1 lead, and then they got the empty netters. So not really a good game. Hopefully our offense comes through more in game number 2, and hopefully our defense could play better, because that was like, I think, that was like the most goals we allowed so far in this playoff run. So let's see if we could bounce back from that here back in Tampa Bay. Still game number 2. Not going to change the lines just yet. Maybe for game 3, but we'll see how it goes. First period, and it is scoreless, so that's a good period again. But I don't think, there was only 1 goal in the first period for us last game, so we need to start finding our offense a bit more. Shots are in our favor, 11-10. Second period, and it's still 0-0, so this is definitely a better game for Ulanov especially. Shots are 22-17 in favor of the Bolts, but nobody's been able to get the puck past the goalie. Let's get the third period underway. Come on, boys, we need a goal. Our offense is just drying up because we only had 1 goal in last game, and we haven't found one yet so far, and we kill off a nice penalty there. They have over 30 shots already. Power play. Come on, guys, you got it. That's a long pass power play, and we do not score on it, and we are headed to overtime. So we have 2 overtime wins so far in this playoff matchup. Well, not matchup, but this playoff year. Hopefully we could get another here as we're being outshot by 10 shots. Come on, boys, do it for Ulanov. And we are going to do it. So we are 3-0 in overtimes. And it's Hayden Fleury, the guy I was debating trading last offseason, but I decided to keep him around. He comes through for a clutch goal, and we have a tie series headed back home. So Fleury from Erzberg. I think Erzberg had an assist last game as well, so he's definitely helping out as well for a 23-year-old in his first season. So that is good. We are 3-0 in OT. Hopefully we have a lot more OT games then, but that's kind of a bit risky to an extent. So let's get into game number 3. We got home ice, so now technically, so if we win both of these games, we could have Tampa Bay on the brink. So game 3 back at the PNC Arena. Come on, boys, let's get the lead here. First period, and it is 1-0 Bolts. Kucherov beats Ulanov, and the shots are actually tied 8-8. So it's a pretty even first period, but they just get a lucky break from a bad angle. Let's see if we could get a goal for ourselves here in the second, and we're going to get 3 just like they did in game number 1. We come back with 3 unanswered, so Erzberg, Hannafin, and Mittelstadt, and it's a 3-1 game headed into the third period. Basically the exact same thing that happened in game 1, but it was against us. So let's see if we could just lock them out here. Penalty kill, nicely done. Power play, can we make it 4-1? No, we can't. Shots are still in our favor, but only by a bit. Last 10 minutes here in the third period. Power play, it's a 5-on-3, and we don't score on it. But we are going to hold them off and win game number 3 by a score of 3-1 and take a 2-1 series lead. That's what I wanted to see. So Erzberg from Fleury and Poye, Hannafin from Huberdeau and Brown, and Mittelstadt from Huberdeau and Aho. So the entire team is producing the fourth line, the third line, the second line, and the first line. So that is good. Everything seems to be going good for our team at least. And except for that, so Hayden Fleury has been injured with a sore knee. So we're continuing to still get injuries. And he's not going to be back till May the 9th. So I think that's till the end of, maybe to the start of next round if we get there. So that is not good considering we don't have a depth defenseman. Maybe I should have signed one. So I guess for now we will have to go like this. So Arvidsson, you're going to have to go there. You know, we're going to put Ward up here. Ward's actually up to 79 unless there's a top 6 defender now, so that's great news. And our best depth, like, kind of defender is Hayton. He's actually got a pretty good defensive awareness, so maybe that helps him out playing defense. So hopefully that is okay, having a forward as a depth defenseman. Or we could always call up Gibbons. You know what? I'm going to do that, I think. Maybe call up Gibbons just because it's the playoffs. We need him in because he's actually a defenseman. So 1 second, guys, while I call up Gordon Gibbons. Okay, guys, so Gibbons is now in our lineup. So we are good to go for maybe a couple games. I don't know how long Gibbons will be in the lineup for. Looks like until probably maybe the next game after this. But we currently still have our 2-1 series lead. So let's get into game number 4 and see if we could take a 3-1 series lead and maybe have a chance to eliminate the Bolts on their own home ice, just like what we did to Toronto. They're 5-5 in the playoffs, and we are 6-2. Come on, let's do this, boys. First period, and we have a 1-0 lead. Jonathan Huberdeau comes through. I guess it was a good acquisition to bring in Huberdeau because since he played in Florida for however many years it was, he knows Tampa Bay really well, so that definitely might give us an advantage. Shots are 13-10 in favor of them. Second period, and they have tied the game up, and it's Steven Stamkos. We don't want to let that guy start getting going or else he's going to get them the win. Shots are 24-22 in favor of the Bolts. Come on, boys, let's get the lead here. We have home ice technically in this series now. If we win this game, it might be over. Penalty kill, come on, guys, kill off, nicely done. Shots are really close as well in this one. If we're going to overtime, we know how we can do it in overtime. We've won 3 overtime games so far, and we have a chance for a 4th overtime win if we could get it done. Shots are 34-30 in favor of the Bolts. Who is going to be the OT hero in this one? We've been to 2 double overtime games, and there's another OT winner. This is our 4th OT win so far this postseason. And Casey Middlestad, the acquisition we just got last free agency, has given us a 3-1 series lead, and we have a chance to eliminate the Bolts on their home ice. So Huberdeau from Arvidsson and Middlestad from Hosang and Huberdeau. Nicely done, guys. So Ulanov gets first star, Middlestad the second star, and Vasilevsky the third. Okay, so let's see, is Gibbons going to be having to be scratched next? No, he's not. He's, whoever it is, injured. Fleury won't be back till Game 6 at the latest, or, yeah, probably Game 6 at the latest, maybe Game 7 even. So let's see, can we eliminate the Tampa Bay Lightning? The team that has dropped off considerably since. Come on, boys. First period, and it's 2-0 Tampa Bay. So that's not the greatest start. Obviously, they would try and come through here a lot in Tampa Bay. Poiling and Stamkos with their goals. Let's see if we could answer back in the second, and we get 1. So that's good. At least we have a chance to maybe tie it up here in the third. Rod Fritz with the goal. We're out shooting them 24-17. Come on, boys. Let's tie it up here in this third period. Pelling Hill, and we do it. Nicely done. We're out shooting them by 10 shots almost. Come on, guys, let's get that equalizer. Last 5 minutes of the third period. Are we going to get a goal here? And no, we are not. Tampa Bay manages to hold us off, and we are going to a Game 6 back on home ice. Hopefully, we can get it done there. So Fritz from Hannafin and Cass. 3 stars, Vasilevsky, Poiling, and Stamkos. So if Stamkos doesn't score, they might not win. So that's what we need to do, is just shut down their top 6 for this game, and we have a date in the conference finals if that happens. So game number 6, and Fleury is still not back. Come on, boys, let's get this series done with. First period, and it is scoreless, so just the type of game we like, where Ulanov just shuts the door. Shots are 11-8 in favor of us. Second period, and it's still scoreless. Shots are 20-19 in favor of the Bolts, but still nobody has been able to score in the first 40 minutes. Third period underway. Can we get the lead here? For our fans, boys. We're on home ice for a reason. Last 10 minutes here of the third period, and it is still scoreless. They have a big shot advantage by 10 shots, but Ulanov is playing great. Are we going to a familiar overtime again? Yes, we are. So we have a chance for our 5th OT win here if we could get it. Shots are 34-26 in favor of the Bolts. Come on, boys. Let's get that OT winner again. Pelling kill. Nicely done. Killing off those penalties in overtime is always huge when the defense steps up. And the goaltender, I guess you could say, too. Are we going to a potentially another double OT game? Pelling kill. Nicely done. And we are going to double overtime for the 3rd time already in these playoffs. Shots are 44-26 in favor of Tampa Bay, but Ulanov has made 44 saves, and he's just shutting down the door. Come on, guys, we need to do it for Ulanov. He's been playing great for us. Power play. And we're going to get it done. We have won 5 OT games, 2 of them from Casey Middlestad, and we are off to the conference finals for the 3rd time, I think, in this GM mode series. So really well done defense, and offense maybe a little bit as well. So Middlestad's 5th the playoffs from Hannafin and Huberdeau. Nicely done, guys. First star Sergei Ulanov, second star Vasilevsky, and Middlestad the 3rd. Damn, we're off to the conference finals. Like I said, this team looks pretty deep, and oh, that is not good. So Marcel Poirier, who's our 4th liner kind of at the moment, he could technically be our 1st liner if we wanted him to, is injured till May the 20th. So that might be it for him till the Stanley Cup finals if we could get there. So that is not good. Luckily for us, though, we have Louis Jurinen, who has decent face-off stats, so he could always take that spot, or we could put in Baird Hayton. No, Hayton's not as good on the draw, to be honest. Like, I think Louis Rynan, yeah, Louis Rynan has better face-off, so we're going to put in Louis Rynan for the face-off thing. But luckily, we are onto the conference finals. Who are we going to face in the conference finals? We'll check the player stats right after we find out. And it's, guess who? The Philadelphia Flyers. Hayden Fleury is back on time for the conference finals as well, so that is good news. And wow, Brian Ward has grown to an 81, so he just got a good jump with growth. So Gibbons, get out of there. Hayden Fleury, you can go in there, bring you up. And then also Ward, you need to get off the power play for now. Just because I think that's where we had Fleury in. Because most of those power play ones. Like, he could play the penalty kill because I think he's got good defensive stats, right? Yeah, really good defensive stats. So we'll leave him on the penalty kill, but Hayden Fleury will play some power play time. So that is good that he's back, but we have to face the Philadelphia Flyers, who have the exact same record as us in these playoffs so far. They did not win the Stanley Cup last year, but their team, obviously, we know is deadly, and they finished the season with a 57-25 record. So this is definitely going to be a really tough matchup. Like, we've played them like the last 2 years in a row. So this is kind of turning out to be like a rivalry to an extent. So let's take a look at their lines after we check the player stats, because the player stats, it's Calgary and Edmonton apparently in the Western Conference Finals. So we will be playing a Canadian team in the Stanley Cup Finals if we could get there. So it might be a rematch of 06 if that happens. I didn't want to go to edit lines, goddammit. But let's take a look at who's done what for us so far in this playoff run. I think it's mostly just been Ulanov, but I could be wrong. Huberdeau's got 9 points already, apparently. So that first line has given us a chance as well. So yeah, Huberdeau 9 points, Millsat 7 points, Hanifin 6 points, Aho 5 points, Arvidsson, Whitmore, Erzberg, Fritz, Nikas, Hosang, all with 4 points. Then Fleury, Brown, Davidson, Poirier, all with 3. Malone, or just Malone with 2, and then everybody else no points so far. Gibbons was a -2 in his 3 games that he played with us, but whatever. He's not in the lineup anymore, so. And then goaltending, yeah, it's definitely been Ulanov. He's 8-3 currently with 2 shutouts, a .954 save percentage, and a 1.48 goals against average. He seems to actually simulate really good in the playoffs as well. Like, look at this so far. His playoff stats are pretty nice. Like, look at that save percentage since he's becoming like a starter in the net. Hopefully we can get past these Flyers now. Like, hopefully Giroux retired or something. Or Nolan Patrick is with an injury or something, just to give us a chance to beat these guys, because they're a very difficult team. Like I said, they're the team that eliminated us in back-to-back seasons. Once in the first round, once in the second round, and hopefully not once in the third round. So let's take a look at their lines. So Simmons, Patrick, Voracek, I think that's stayed the same for a long time. Elias Lindholm is still there, our former player. Claude Giroux is dropped to an 80, so he shouldn't be producing as well, but that shooting category is still really nice, so he still might be. Zucker, Tikhonov, Konechny, Suter. Nick Foligno's a 75, damn. Playing with Pete Wall, who's an 80, and Brouwer, who's a 78. So I think that's the exact same forward core as last year. Defensively, Provorov and Gostisbehere, John Carlson, who's dropping off with Hamonic. They have a forward playing defense in Rubstov, that's kind of interesting, and Gordy Bell. So their defense is a little weak after Gostisbehere and Provorov, and Carter Hart is up to an 89. Whew, that's a bit scary. And Luke Dunham, who's a 77. Scratch, they have LeBerge, Guite, and Hordichuk is out with an injury. So that's why their defensive core looks a lot weaker, is because of Brandon Hordichuk's injury, a former first overall pick. Who puts up really good numbers, I think. Well, actually not the greatest offensively, but still a really good player. We should actually check out how long he's injured till. Hopefully he's injured for this entire playoffs or something. So that gives us a leg up in this series. So injury report, let's take a look. Hopefully it's pretty long. So Hayden Fleury is still actually injured. I didn't want to go to the AHL, goddammit. Let's see. How long is Hordichuk injured for? He is injured with an MCL sprain till May the 13th. So he's actually out for how many games? Hopefully that's like at least till like game 4 or 5. May 8th. Yeah, that's actually quite a few games, like 2 or 3 games that he's missing. So yeah, he will be back for game number 4, like at least at full health. So we might actually have a chance if we could get like wins early in the series. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Carolina Hurricanes franchise mode. So next episode, we will take on the Flyers and hopefully get by them this time and get to the Stanley Cup Finals. So thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time.